I'm doing well.
Welcome everybody to SVC Sports Weekly. Mike Nosek alongside Dave Gage, who is 2 days away from, quote, hopefully the beginning of his season. But we'll get to that in a couple minutes. First, we're going to kick it off with men's volleyball. They had 2 matches last week versus Elms here on the home court, and then they were down at Ramapo this past weekend. They started off the week with a win over Elms, and that was actually a really big match for them. Fell down 2-0 and battled back. They showed some resiliency. Coach Stokes gave a lot of credit to his defense for being able to play well after that second set and come back for the 3-2 win.
Yeah, actually it was a really exciting game. Like you said, they were down 2-0 and came back 3 straight victories, and it was very, very exciting to see the team bounce back and play together and get a win.
That Elms team, they're currently 3rd in the standings in the NECC. They're really good. Their offense was, like I said, to the table. They were flying. Some of those guys could jump so high and just smack the ball down to the ground. And it kind of took us a couple sets to figure out who their better players were, how they're going to try to hit it and adjust. And it worked out for the best.
Yeah, I actually made the joke. I was watching the game. I made the joke to my assistant coach, Connor Murray. I said, I hope none of these kids pitch, because their arm swings were so fast. I'm pretty sure those kids, I don't want to give Elms any hints here or anything, but those kids could probably throw the ball pretty fast. But yeah, after we made the adjustment, I think, the men's volleyball coaching staff made a great adjustment, and, they got to the block where they needed to, and all of a sudden we got a few blocks and the momentum shifted and things ended up on the positive end for us.
As I mentioned, that was a really big win for them because Elms currently sits in 3rd. We currently sit in 4th after that win. Newberry's right behind. They have played 1 less game and they have 1 less win. But if, for whatever reason it works out that Newberry were to be tied with us at some point prior to next week, we would have that tiebreaker. When it comes to men's volleyball, you play each team twice. So if we were to win next Tuesday, not this week, but next Tuesday at Newberry and have that 1-to-1 head-to-head matchup, then it goes by, quality wins against top-ranked opponents.
Yep.
So say for all intents and purposes, hypothetically, that neither team beats Endicott or Daniel Webster, or they both have 1, whatever, that Elms game might come back at the end of the season and be that extra, nudge needed to get into the postseason.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a key win. You never know what the tiebreakers are going to be or how they're going to work out, but when you beat a team that's above you in the standings, it's always going to help.
As I mentioned, the team then went on the road down to New Jersey at Ramapo College and lost 3-0, kind of impacting their overall record there, but for all reasons, likely no harm done, except maybe for morale and that kind of thing.
Yeah, Ramapo is a very, very good team. They produce some good coaches, I would say, with saying that our head coach, Josh Stokes, is from Ramapo, but they're a quality program, and I really don't know how the game went, but I do know that they ended up on the losing end. But hopefully, it helps them get better.
I actually was overhearing assistant coach Joanna Hogue talking about it really briefly this morning, and she said that the 3rd set they played pretty well. It's just it took until the 3rd set for them to get going, and you can't really have that, Especially we were just talking about playoffs. If they make the conference playoffs, you can't wait until the 3rd set to get going. You got to be ready to go from, the get-go.
Absolutely. You got that first set means something. You can't get down 1-0 or 2-0 and expect to come back every single night and try to play 5 sets. It's gonna take its toll on you.
And as we mentioned, next week is a big week for them as they visit Newberry. They visit number 2 Daniel Webster. Both of those games during their spring break, so they're not going to have classes to worry about. They'll hopefully be able to practice and focus and come away with a couple of wins there. But we'll talk about that more next week. This week they only have 1 match, and that is at Keuka College out in western New York, if I'm not mistaken. That is on Thursday, a 5 p.m. start. Keuka will enter that game 3-10 record. They have 2 losses to SUNY IT, which we swept 3-0 when we played them earlier in the season. So definitely a winnable match there.
Yeah, I like the matchup this week. I think this could, talking about morale, with that loss on Saturday, hopefully this brings the morale back a little bit before, as you said, 2 very, very big games next week.
Absolutely. So we'll discuss that Keuka match and preview those big NECC matches next week on Monday, which is actually the off day. So things will work out. The off day for the baseball team, who will be down in Florida at Fort Myers on their spring trip. They will play Saturday and Sunday and then have Monday off. But before you even go, Wednesday, doubleheader at Emerson College.
Yeah, we're real excited. And like you said, we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, although the sunny weather, and I'm sure all the guys are looking on weather.com or AccuWeather to, see what the weather is in Fort Myers. But the Wednesday's game against Emerson is something that we're really excited for.
I don't know about AccuWeather, but I am going to go to the Weather Channel and have been checking it out a couple times during the day. The field location got switched. Was it either yesterday or early this morning? Because Emerson's home field just wasn't playable. Just too much snow down in Massachusetts last week. So it got moved to Malden Catholic High School, which is a turf field, although there is dirt on the pitching mound. So they've still got some snow to melt. Today it's forecasted to be 50 down there. Tomorrow 55, but with rain. And then Wednesday 53. So hopefully the sun, the snow will be gone. The sun will be out a couple of those days and help to dry it up a little bit, and you'll be able to get the game in.
Yeah, it's not very often a baseball coach says, I'm hoping for rain tomorrow. But yeah, I hope that some rain comes and melts all the snow. And, we really want to get this game in. It's that you look forward to something for so long. Since our fall season ended, we've been looking forward to getting out on Wednesday, and now hopefully everything can work out.
Now you might have something going against you when you play Emerson, because they'll be coming in at 0-9, and they're going to be looking for that first win of the year. How do you think that might impact the game at all?
We're looking for our first win as well. So, I think they definitely have been outside. They've played 9 games, which obviously is going to give them an advantage. But at the end of the day, you can't look at things and give yourself excuses. We just got to go out and play, and we know they're going to be hungry for that win. In their last 2 games, they've played pretty well.
Those last 2 games are losses at Gallaudet University 7-6, and then at Virginia Wesleyan 6-4. That Gallaudet game actually went to 10 innings. So as Dave mentioned, they're kind of getting there and they can smell the wins. But whether or not they'll be able to knock off our Mountaineers, we will find out on Wednesday. Again, that's a doubleheader, 4 and 6:30 p.m. Check out svcathletics.com for the live stats links. And then we mentioned that you'll be going down to Florida. You'll match up against St. Joseph's College, the Long Island school, on Saturday, and then doubleheader against Nichols College, a close by Worcester school, on Sunday. Are you guys ready for that trip or what?
Yeah, like I said, I don't want to look too far ahead because, you do got to take one day at a time, and we got Wednesday first. But we're definitely ready to get to Florida. The weather looks nice, and we got some good teams to face down there, and it'll show us how good we are. We play a lot of games in a short period of time.
Again, next week we will discuss all of these games up until Monday, and then preview the rest of the week for the baseball team then. Softball will also be kicking off their season this weekend. They go down to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. They have Mercer Community College and Morrisville State to start things off on Sunday. And then they match up against Rutgers University Camden and the University of Minnesota Morris on Monday. So I know Coach Baker and her group of ladies are eager to get onto the field. Again, a bit of a disadvantage where they haven't been outside pretty much at all.
Yeah. When it's nice out, when you get that 45-degree day, we go throw in the parking lot or something. The same thing with Coach Baker's team. They hit some fly balls, but it's definitely not the same as I'm sure Rutgers Camden is. I'm sure they're on their field every day, whether it be in New Jersey or whatnot. So, but you can't use it as an excuse. I'm sure Coach Baker won't let her women use it as an excuse either.
Now that Mercer Community game, that actually doesn't even count for their overall record where it's a non-NCAA school. Do you think it's kind of nice that they start off their tournament down there with an exhibition?
It could be, but at the same time, when you win your first game, you want to be excited to win your first game. And if they do win that game, it's now you look at the schedule and it doesn't say anything or whatnot because it is an exhibition. But yeah, it could be just for the fact that, like you said, they haven't been outside. So maybe it does help them get everything together and whatnot. It just depends on the mindset of the team for that game.
And again, on Sunday after Mercer, it's not even afternoon. They play a lot of these games down at Myrtle Beach in the morning. They'll match up against Morrisville State, which they end up playing later on in the season for a doubleheader. So it'll be nice to kind of check them out and see how the teams match up and use it as sort of a scouting advantage for Coach Baker. Although Morrisville will have the same advantage,
Absolutely.
So I don't know if it will really tell us anything. But again, we will discuss all of these games next Monday live from Fort Myers, Florida. Well, Dave, good luck on Wednesday.
We appreciate it.
And have a great trip down to Florida. And thank you all for joining us here on SVC Sports Weekly. We hope to catch you next week as we discuss all the men's volleyball, baseball, and softball matchups. Go Mountaineers!